Hello and welcome back to the channel. Another video about pipe smoking. Pipe magic, I want to call this, pipe magic. I want to talk about pipes because they are increasingly becoming very much an important part of my life. And I've been given some pipes by a number of my viewers, and I wanted to say a big thank you for that first of all, but also I wanted to show them off, talk about a little bit about tobacco and more about pipes in general, I suppose, and what you get from it. And I know that a few people have been in touch and said, Richard, you know, you've inspired me to dust off my old pipe, or I've picked up my father's pipe or my grandfather's pipe, and it's given me a different way of looking at things, which is great. I was given this small pipe the other day. I think if I was to fill that up with tobacco, it would cost an absolute fortune. It would be an all-day pipe, wouldn't it? In fact, I've got a number of pipes. I'm going to show you some of those from these little boxes here from a chap who lives in the same town as me called Andy. Andy, if you're watching, thank you so much. I appreciate you reaching out to me and asking if I would be interested in the pipes. Now, his father, as I recall, was in the pipe trade and used to sell pipes and had a box of pipes or samples of pipes and various things. And once his father died, he put this box up onto the out the way, and then suddenly, you know, there's me talking about pipes. He said, wait a minute, I've got a load of pipes. I should see what I've got. So I think he's going to put some of the more ornate ones on eBay and see if he can sell them. But he did offer me a few, and I'm going to have a look at that. But before I do that, I want to talk to you about these tins, tobacco tins. I love tobacco tins. I've got to find a use for them, you know, screws and bolts and nails and all those sort of things, or even as an ashtray, of course, they come in useful. And as you know, what I tend to do is get rid of the government's silly message that they put on. 50% of their message is on the tin. It's horrible, it's ugly, and it's not true. That's the other important thing to understand. We've mentioned about nicotine and the importance of nicotine in the body. But anyway, I decorate them so that get rid of that. Of course, that's the modern ones. There's another one that I've done. This one I just took the government warning off. But there are some I have found from 30 years ago that when I was dabbling and I thought myself too young really to take this seriously, are tobacco tins which were, as they used to be sold, as a bit more of a work of art, and they're very nice. And I suppose I'm giving a bit of a plea out. If anyone's got any old tobacco tins in reasonable nick that have got some of the old names on them, I would love to have them if you don't need them. I mean, you know, I'm not looking to sort of spend a fortune or whatever, but I'll happily perhaps pay the postage and stuff. But I would love to acquire some of the old tobacco tins that that you cannot get, so that there's no government health warning on it. Now, I have used this one. This is Murray's Erinmore mixture. I don't know if they're still going. And I've been using that as a bit of an ashtray. I was just smelling in there because that looks like I haven't. I think it's another one actually. But anyway, that's Erinmore, and I wonder if that's still going. This one I found is Thomas Radford's Sunday Fantasy. And I did look online to see if it was still going, and it is. And you can still buy it loose. And I bought some loose, and I put it into this tin. You can't see it terribly well, but there it is. And oh, it is a beautiful tobacco, and I have smoked it a couple of times already, and it's absolutely fantastic. It's my new favourite. There are many other tobaccos that I enjoy, but this is my new favourite. And it says, I don't know if it's the same mixture, which I'm sure it is. It should actually say it's made in Germany, And what does it say? This is a tin from 30 years ago. And this is 1 3/4 ounce, 50 grams. And this is approved by members of the Pipe Club of Great Britain. And I'm just trying to see what what blend it is, but I thought it said it there. It's hand blended. Can't remember what it is. No, it's not saying. Anyway, Thomas Radford, Sunday Fantasy. So that's that. In here, I was given several different pipes. So this one that you saw me smoking at the beginning, this is a lovely one. I think that's called Talisman, is it? Talisman, this one, this shape. Beautiful. Delicate pipe. And these are from the 1970s, most of these, from what I can ascertain. And they're much more delicate, slightly smaller, and very, very artistic is what I have discovered. Look at this one. This one is a very unusual pipe. Like that. It's called a Freak, and it's made in, I think that's made in Czechoslovakia. A beautiful pipe. I have now smoked them all, apart from one, which I shall show you at the end. This one is one, very, very pleasant. And there's many more that I seem to like and prefer straight pipes. I'm not quite sure why it is, but they sort of resonate with me. This one, you can't see it really, but it's got a heart on it, shaped with a bit of rustication, and that's very lovely. I had one of these, which is sort of a billiard shape pipe. This is, I think, London made, if I remember rightly, just made in London. Oh, it's Parker Lord, I beg your pardon. And I had one of these, but this part of the stem broke. And so it was very uncomfortable trying to smoke it, but this is a nice... All of these were new, by the way, and unsmoked. So they've been a joy to explore. Then there's this one, which I'm not sure. I think that's clay on the end. And that is... It's difficult to see what that one's called. It's Sea Crop. And I think that is clay, but with a vulcanite stem. Very delicate and very, very, very pleasant looking. And finally, one that actually I gave to Julia is a slightly smaller one. They're a bit churchwardeny, very small churchwardeny type of pipe, which is very beautiful. So those are those. There's one that I was given in here, very delicate, this one, in this, and I better not drop it now because we're on camera. This is a clay pipe, and it came from the Bramber Pipe Museum, which I used to go to in the 70s, and it's got stamped on the stem the House of Pipes, Bramber, which was the museum, and this motif here, clay motif that's stuck onto the clay pipe, is actually a little depiction of Bramber Castle. It's very beautiful and unsmoked. Now, in another episode, I will smoke this and show you what that's like. But in the meantime, I'm delicately going to put it back in its wrapper and put it back in the box for protection. But I would like to smoke that, but I will wait, and I'm afraid I'm going to let you wait because I want to show you something else. So anyway, Andy, thank you so much. I really appreciate that. I don't know what it is. I'm really enjoying collecting the pipes and the shapes and the smoking and all of that. So that is very kind. I showed you the one that Julia bought for me, the Meerschaum, and I'm looking to get some more Meerschaum pipes. And as I smoke this, it is slowly getting discoloured, is what it will do, and turn into a sort of yellow and then orange and a deep orange, depending on. And that's a lovely one. I often smoke that in the evening with Julia, and we're reading to one another. And when she reads to me, some old farming books and books from the 40s and 50s, or even some of my own work, actually, she's been reading, I smoke that. But a friend of mine called Icky, I know it's a strange name, he very generously sent me something rather peculiar, and I thought I'd smoke that now to finish this video off with. And that's this. This is the most peculiar pipe. It's completely made of wood, apart from a little metal insert here to protect the bowl. I believe we've got two. Julia has one, which is made of cherry wood, and I think this is walnut, if I remember rightly. You can see that this bit has been on a lathe, and I don't know whether that's, I don't think it's glued together. I think that's just one piece that fixes to the bowl, which is also lathed. And then, unusually, it has a wooden stem, not plastic, not vulcanite, not anything else, a wooden stem. And it is an unusual part. I mean, it wouldn't be something that you would really smoke for any length of time. I think it's more for a bit of fun or maybe ceremonial or whatever. But I thought I would give it a go here, because just for a bit of a laugh, and demonstrate with some Sunday Fantasy. So I'm going to get that here on the table. Now, I bought that loose, and I put it in some grease-proof paper, as opposed to tin foil or any of that other nonsense, which is actually potentially damaging because it's got aluminium in it. It's not really tin at all. Now, I'm not going to fill this right up because I don't intend to smoke all of this. I'll probably go back to the one I was smoking at the beginning. But I'll put enough in just to get it going, tamp it down, because it's quite a big bowl. And that'll probably do for now. And put my greaseproof paper to keep whatever moisture's in there so it doesn't dry out too much. You don't want the tobacco to be too moist. You don't want it to be too dry. Anyway, I'm so thrilled to have managed to get this. And if anyone, as I say, has got some old tins, it would be lovely. Or if you are a smoker yourself and you could recommend a few blends that you can get in the UK. The difficulty is if I've got to get it from, say, overseas, then there's an import tax, and that's very irritating. I've got my pipe smoker, my pipe lighter, I had to think then what it was called, which also one of my viewers sent in, so it's very kind. I do buy stuff myself, by the way, and I've got used to now using that. And so here we go. Look at that. And I can tell you, if you get a tobacco that you like, it's a bit like finding the right whiskey or the right spirit or the right real ale. Once you find something that is, you know, that you like and really excites your senses and tastes, then you're just at home. You're in another world. And so it doesn't really matter what pipe you're actually smoking it from if it's comfortable. And I'm not really very good at the old describing the notes of the tobacco and saying, oh yes, this is a sort of light vanilla-y flavour. Although this is a sort of a light vanilla-y flavour, it's a very aromatic-y one, although it's not deliberately aromatic, as in cherry and various other things. But that is delicious. At some point, I will do a bit more study on the tobaccos and why certain blends work in certain ways, and why, say, Golden Virginia works with Perique and Cavendish works with others, and the different notes on it and all of that. That would be fantastic to explore all of that, and especially if and when I can get a little bit of land and grow my own tobaccos and then dry them out and blend them up. It would be fantastic. Well, as you can see, it is a bit of a comedy pipe, and you can't clench this one because it does look ridiculous. But anyway, there you are. I'd love to read your pipe comments in the comments, your pipe stories, and if you've gone back to smoking a pipe, or if you've enjoyed it, or you're tantalised. It's funny, old YouTube, there's lots of other people smoking pipes and have got pipe videos on there, and it's really bizarre. They've sort of go into the minutiae of, oh, you have to do this to pack I'll make a video on packing the perfect bowl. I'll do a video on getting the right temperature of the tobacco, or the, you know, how moist or not it is, or I'll tell you, make a video on the different type of tampers and things. I mean, to me, it's like, golly, all of that is irrelevant. Get the bloody thing lit and smoke it. And you know, the problem with doing a video where you're demonstrating something is the thing will go out because you'll start talking, and if you're not smoking it, it'll just extinguish itself. So I think I better get on and just enjoy the beauty of the smoke, myself, the peace and quiet. And I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.